Brandon put out a video yesterday testing out the Kurt Cobain shotgun theory.
Don't get me started on TV license £175 a year to watch live TV, BBC catch up or any live things on YouTube.
Good heckle. Yeah, this one, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be dark because I had the suicide warning pop up on the screen that I had to click through. It's fine, Heckle. It's totally cool. I figured. I had the actual suicide warning pop up on screen, and it's got this at the bottom. So you know that this is going to be a good video. This is going to be content rich on this one. And yes, Mechanist, in the UK, if you want to watch live YouTube videos, you have to pay that license. Yes, you do. All right, let's take a look.
On April 5th, 1994, Kurt Cobain, lead singer of Nirvana, was found dead in his home, had a gunshot wound to the head, and he was holding a 20-gauge shotgun. Specifically this 20-gauge Remington Model 11 purchased by a friend. The coroner report indicated that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, which has led to wild speculation ever since. We're going to be getting into a lot of those theories, some of the technical details, a lot of stuff about the gun, and, well, if you're a Courtney Love fan, I would leave now. Now that Courtney Love is gone, let's get into it. Oh, and regardless of whether or not you think Kurt Cobain actually did it himself, it kind of goes without saying that we're going to cover some pretty heavy topics in this video, including suicide. So if you're sensitive to stuff like that, I would click off this video. We also have a pretty dark sense of humor about a couple things. So if you're easily offended by stuff like that, this is your final exit ramp. And if you think this is too soon, A, this literally happened before I was born. B, tell that to Metallica, who ripped this line 2 months after he died.
What color was Kurt Cobain's eyes? Blue. One blew this way, one blew that way.
Okay, I've heard that joke. I did not know Metallica made that joke at a concert 2 months after his death. Fuck. Well, I guess there's no lost love between Lars and Kirk. Holy shit. It's Leo, exactly. Fucking exactly, Leo.
If anything was too soon, that was it. This is the Remington Model 11 20-gauge shotgun. Not an uncommon hunting shotgun, but for those unfamiliar with its game, it's kind of got a weird operating system. But before we get into that, this is the exact gun that was used, that was found at least, next to Kurt Cobain. We've got the actual pictures of the shotgun from the evidence lockup in Seattle. It was this shotgun specifically with the cuts compensator at the end. Really kind of funky looking compensator, pretty long on the end of the barrel too. It's got these cuts in the top and the bottom that help try to keep recoil under control. Also adds to the overall length of the gun, which will be relevant later.
That's the gun Courtney Love used.
We'll get there. I mean, no.
Hi, Eli. How's it going? Yeah, like all of them are kind of young. They just, I will flat out say, looking at Brandon, I would think he's at least 35. I'm sorry if that's bad, but Brandon, now, I do think a big part of it is the beard. Like, he may be 28 or 29, but I do think a big part is the beard. I do think the beard gives him the appearance of age, like 5 years older than he actually is. 100%. It's the beard. Like, yeah, you look at Brandon right here, you think he is like 35 years old, at least. Honestly, Eli looks younger than Brandon. Look at them side by side. Eli legitimately looks younger than Brandon. It's fucking crazy. But again, I do ascribe a lot of that to Brandon's beard. Alas, it's a beautiful beard, but it does age him.
I mean, that's untrue. The gang gets sued.
Hey, that's the gun Courtney Love used. Allegedly. Allegedly.
That
Allegedly.
allegedly is doing some heavy lifting right now.
Oh, hold up. Chat, look at the shirt that Eli's wearing. Look, you see the shirt that he's wearing? Recognize it? Uh-huh. Metal Gear, baby. Metal Gear Solid. Another. I think Braden's actually gonna start doing Metal Gear Solid weapons. I know he mentioned it on Udsub that they're gonna start doing videos about the Metal Gear weapons. I cannot wait for that. That's gonna be awesome.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
That allegedly is doing some heavy lifting right now. Also, say hi to Eli.
Oh, hi,
One of the
Eli.
things I like to bring up on the Model 11 that is just kind of funky, right, that not a lot of guns have, is, you know the Barrett, like how the short recoil operating system, the barrel just kind of reciprocates a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just unlocks the bolt, essentially. This has something that's kind of similar to that, but you see the barrel does reciprocate
Why?
with the bolt.
That's wild. I've never
wow,
actually
that's
seen that
cool.
before.
Here's the crazy part. It's not just to unlock it, it will literally follow it all the way back.
Oh, so it's not a
Oh,
short
shit.
scope system. It literally...
Is long recoil. So the barrel will go all the way back, or can at least, until the bolt picks up a new round, and
Yes.
then you keep firing.
Question.
Yeah.
Was his hands holding it after?
So it's funny you bring that up. It has
Uh-huh.
been claimed that he was found with his hand wrapped around the barrel, which is an interesting choice, or just an interesting factoid, I guess, when a now limp hand would have had a barrel doing that through it.
And that is... Rack it just really quick. Slam it down really quick. Like, for reference, that, like, hold on the top. Feel how weird that is. Like,
Oh yeah,
and that's a human doing it, not an
not a
explosive.
fire, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but one thing I do feel like I need to point out is if his hand was on the barrel for positioning, Hunter, it's not the actual gun, but it is the same exact model. That's what Brandon was saying. This is not the actual gun because the actual gun is in police evidence, but this is the same exact model that Kurt Cobain is claimed to have used. Here's the problem with their logic. We're saying like, oh, it's so interesting, like how a lip hand with the reciprocating barrel like that. But here's the thing. If Kurt Cobain was holding the barrel for positioning when he did the deed and took his own life, his hand wouldn't necessarily go limp instantly. There would probably be like maybe a second or two after the shot before his hand would go completely limp. And especially with something like that, the body's natural response might actually be to clench down. And then rigor mortis might set in and his hand would stay clamped around the barrel. So, you know, because I'll let him repeat what he said here.
Like, hold on the top quick. That is, rack it just really quick. Like, slam it down really quick. Like, for reference, that, like, hold on the top. Feel how weird that is. Like,
Oh yeah,
and that's a human doing it, not an
not
explosive.
a fire, yeah.
Yes.
I have a theory. Exhibit A.
I mean, hang on. See here. Yeah, so it does a slide back. The up kick is natural recoil because if you notice on the slide, notice when it slides. The sock slides, and it's only when the kick from the recoil sends it flying. But again, if he's holding the barrel if he's holding the barrel halfway, then it's entirely possible that he would be clenching down on it. The barrel would reciprocate, and that would have ejected his hand off the barrel. Cortez, possibly, but there is also a possibility that when when someone is committing this kind of an act, they are tense. They are not relaxed when they're doing something like this. So there is a good chance, possibly, this is a postulated theory. Let me preface this. It is a postulated theory. When he is holding that, when he was holding the shotgun, he would have been like tense. He wouldn't have been tense. So his hand would have been clamped on the barrel. His other hand would have been down at the sock. Obviously, we're going to be seeing the logistics of that kind of a reach, which I think is where the arguments can be. Like the positioning doesn't allow for him to very easily reach that. As far as the hand on the barrel, if he's clenched really tight, when the barrel reciprocates, his hand might still remain clenched. Because it's not like when this happens, the entire body suddenly goes limp. That's not necessarily the case. It may have stayed clenched, and then rigor mortis might set in, and the hand would continue to be clenched. But
I'm pretty sure that he said that this was the actual gun that was used, not just the same model.
All right, let's find out. Remember 359. And thank you, Gray Matter. Let's find out.
Getting into a lot of those theories, some of the Courtney Love fan is gone. Kurt Cobain actually did it himself. It kind of goes without saying that we're gonna that. I would click off this video. Like that literally happened before. 20 gauge shot. This is the Remington Model 11 20 gauge shotgun. Not an uncommon hunting shotgun, but for those unfamiliar with its game, it's kind of got a weird operating system. But before we get into that, this is the exact gun that was used, that was found at least, next to Kurt Cobain. We've got the actual pictures of the shotgun from the evidence lockup.
Yeah, so when he was saying this is the exact gun that was found, he's not saying that this was the gun used in Kurt Cobain's suicide. He's basically saying it's the exact same model. That's what he's referencing. This is not the actual gun that was supposedly used in his suicide. Yeah. Because my guess is that is such a piece of history that no one would want to fire around through it because it has such a strong piece of history. I don't know if that was destroyed or not, Kaibo.
Kick that up pretty high. I'm just saying.
It demonstrates the violence that it's moving, you know?
Yeah.
That's just interesting, I guess. So if you're choosing a gun to hypothetically frame a suicide, maybe don't choose long recoil.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. You know, it's something that's interesting I didn't know until earlier today. Apparently he had already talked to his attorney to file for a divorce right before he killed himself, which would have left her with very little.
Huh, that's weird.
Yeah, but now she's set for life with millions of dollars.
It's true that Courtney Love and her daughter with Cobain, Frances Bean, received both Cobain's lucrative writing and publishing rights after death, but a sum that may have been as high as $245 million. But she's also been a star in her own right between touring and performing with Paul and the group's estimated 3 million albums sold in the U.S. Love, no doubt, banked a healthy amount of cash.
Thanks to his suicide.
Hey, Brandon.
What's up?
What has more brains than Kurt Cobain?
Oh, God. What?
The wall behind him.
Dang, Eli. Oh, my God. We're going to be getting a lot of those on this one, aren't we? Oh, we're going to be getting more than a few of these jokes on this route. Too soon, Demon. For the love of God, this was, what, 30 years ago? I think too soon has long passed, okay? Yes, that certainly was a mind-blowing joke. Oh, fuck. Oh, we're going to be getting the bad suicide dad jokes on this one, aren't we? Oh, no.
We can't use that.
Hey, Brandon.
But they did.
Why doesn't Kurt Cobain drive?
Why?
Because he likes to ride shotgun.
Jesus. Are you
Oh,
fucking
for
Googling
fuck's
these?
sake.
Oh shit, he's getting a head start. So here we have our ballistic dummy that we're going to be using to replicate the exact shot. Well, before we do that, we've already talked about the gun. Now it's time to talk about the ammunition, because that does play a pretty big role here. Because of the very detailed crime scene photos that were released to the public, we have a very high resolution picture of the ammunition box itself, as well as the receipt. So we know the exact brand, load, everything about the ammunition that was used. Funny enough, that exact same load is still made to this day. The box looks a little bit different, but it is the exact same load, 20 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 8 shot, whole 9 yards. So what we've been shooting today is about as close as it gets as far as, you know, accuracy to the event. What I'm perplexed by, though, is that the ammunition of choice is a target load.
Kurt Cobain, you lived as a professional musician. You died as an amateur painter.
For God's sake, Eli.
Anyway, target loads are made for things like, you know, target shooting, skeet shooting, whatever. They don't really have a lot of power. I mean, 20 gauge already, you're losing a lot of power from, say, 12 gauge.
Yeah.
A 20 gauge target load,
It struggles breaking clay pigeons.
this is a
Really?
completely survivable round to shoot someone with. Obviously, in this instance, it did what it was meant to do.
Well, Courtney Love didn't know that.
Another
for
fun
God's
fact
sake.
about Courtney Love is she's still alive and very litigious.
Ah,
This is a demonstration.
Eli, right now.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And Cortana's, that's an excellent point. That is an excellent point, and I do think that Brandon will probably address that in this video, where that, you know, regardless of the fact that a 20 gauge is, in the grand scheme of things, a lightweight round, especially with target shot, you still have all of that gas pressure exiting the barrel. And as we know, even blanks can grievously injure or kill. So, but I do suspect Brandon is going to address that.
Of the 20 gauge target load.
Okay.
You know what it smells like, Eli?
say it.
Wolfie, I don't think it was a blank that killed Brandon. I believe a live round accidentally got, no, sorry. No, it wasn't a blank that, okay, technically it was a blank, but what happened was the firearm that they were using had a squib, or had a, was it a squid? No, not squid. Oh, fuck, the word went right out of my brain. It happened like, there was a squib bullet in the barrel that they didn't realize. A blank round was loaded. Okay, so I don't know why I was thinking squib was the wrong word. Yeah, so there was a squid in the barrel of the gun that was used on set. A blank round, not a plug, a squib. And a blank round was loaded into the firearm that they used. And when they and they didn't know the squib was there. They didn't properly clear the round. So when the blank fired, it propelled that squib out of the barrel and into Brandon Lee. So it was improper firearm safety. The weapon was not checked prior to shooting, and thus technically the blank kinda, yes, did kill Brandon Lee, but what it did is it actually propelled the squib out of the barrel and into Brandon Lee. It is 100% negligence, anti-meme. Absolutely correct.
Teen spirit. Now let's try the 20 gauge slug. Still wild you could load it from the barrel. That's so cool. Guns are neat. All right. Damn.
That's impressive.
How
Well,
was the
what's supposed to be a
recoil on that
lightweight
one,
round.
You could definitely feel it more, but it really wasn't too bad. That long recoil here, really just like most of the recoil that you're feeling is the reciprocation of the barrel and the bolt.
It's still such an interesting design as a compensator, and then it has that long The long stroke system?
Yeah, so long stroke is a gas system. This is a long recoil.
Long recoil system, which also then
Yeah.
mitigates it.
So I'm gonna put this, just showing clear. I'll put this back on. The reason you wouldn't have this on for shooting, say, a slug is because this is technically a choke, which can, it constricts the shot, which may not clear with the slug, so you wanna be careful with that.
Yeah.
That is super soft. That is weird, actually, the spring feel.
It feels funky, doesn't it?
Yeah, at the end, it's like a spring hits you.
Wow.
It feels springy. That's the only way I can describe that recoil.
Feels springy.
I couldn't think of a better word. While Eli's prepping the slow-mo camera, there is one more thing I wanted to bring up as far as the weapon of choice. When you're talking about some of the conspiracy theories around Kurt Cobain's death, something that a lot of people bring up is how long of a weapon this is and how hard it would be to turn it back on yourself and pull the trigger. That and the fact that he said he didn't have a gun. That was a fucking lie. But, and I'm gonna go ahead and glance, show clear. 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 Eli, clear. Good. Okay, I'm gonna leave this bolt back, safety on. I'm not gonna point the shotgun at myself, but I am gonna put it, like you can see, camera, it's going to the left of me, so the only thing it would do is blow out my eardrums at the moment. But if you turn this way, you can see it is quite possible for me to get that angle while still easily able to pull the trigger. I could get that with my knuckle. I can get that with multiple different fingers. So like it's not impossible.
Now, hold up, I have a question. Research strays. I need quick research on this. What is the height difference between Brandon and Kurt Cobain? Research strays. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry, that was me. Sorry. I accidentally clicked something. Someone get me the height difference. Someone get me Kurt Cobain's height and Brandon's height. Because that is by far a factor. Because, like, okay, for the sake of example, 5'9", okay, so they're about the same height. He was under 5'10". Okay. So, with an inch difference, that will make much of a difference. Reason why I asked is for the sake of giving an example, okay, just for the sake of that, I would not be able to facilitate holding the shotgun like Brandon just was. I am too small. My arms don't have the length. That's why I was asking about the height, because it 100% could be a factor. But if they're only maybe an inch apart, then yeah, it's certainly doable. Absolutely.
Would this be what I assume one's first choice would be? No, but it is possible. You don't have to do any of that crazy, like, use your big toe bullshit. It's also apparently really hard to do when you're strung out on heroin. Dead serious. I think they said they found like a near lethal dose of heroin in the system at the time.
Good God.
Yeah. A near lethal dose. Either a sign of his incredible tolerance, which, I mean, fair, or a sign that maybe, something that would make someone docile while you're staging a...
Oh, for God's sake.
Party.
Another question I have. No, Shadow's 5'2". Well, almost 5'3". Another question I have that I'm curious if he's going to test. How good is, the drop safety on that? Because you know what I'm also thinking? Is what if he basically just very sharply racked the buttstock against the ground? How good is that? If he suddenly just, did a sharp strike of the buttstock on the floor, would that cause the primer to get struck? I'm that's another consideration. Did he necessarily have? Well, I use the word drop safety. It's probably not quite the right word. It's in terms of triggering, even sitting. Okay, we're saying no, the gun is really safe. Okay. So if here's my rationale. here's my thought process. If he basically took the shotgun and instead of reaching for the trigger, actually just did a sharp strike downward with the shotgun, like strike, a very sharp downward strike onto the ground. That might cause the firing pin to strike the prime. So the firing pin is recessed more so on reciprocating barrel shotguns. Okay. That's what I was wondering. That was kind of where my curiosity was at, why I was asking that question.
Retirement party. Hey, there's a guy called El Deuce who actually claimed that Courtney Love offered him $50,000 to kill her husband.
What?
Yeah, for whatever reason, nobody really talks about that. Oh, and then several days after he admitted to that in an interview, he was found dead on railroad tracks, decapitated.
What?
Yeah, nobody talks about that one for some reason. Man, it's not till you really get out here on...
Was there a reason why Brandon and Eli were so far away from the camera that his microphone was starting to artifact? You guys heard that, right? As they kept getting further and further, it was getting a little difficult to hear him because his microphone started to artifact.
Man, it's not till you really get out here on stuff like this that you realize how morbid this all feels. But this is a video you guys have been asking for a long time. I know we've teased it for a while. I've had the shotgun for a while. Did a lot of research on the topic over the last couple days, and you start to learn how dark the entire situation was, but this just feels... Ugh. But for the sake of science, and for the income of Ballistic Dummy Labs, I really do want to see how that long recoil looks in high speed, though. I think that's going to be
okay,
cool.
Leo.
But we've got our shotgun shocked up here, got our ballistic dummy here, got slow-mo camera up there. I'm gonna take a string, pull the trigger, and...
Enter Nirvana.
Start the Foo Fighters. Setting an undisclosed person
For
up
God's
for life in 3, 2, 1.
Yep, that'll do it. That would definitely do it.
What'd you say, Eli?
Said bro OD'd on Teen Spirit.
God damn. God, that's
Fucking
brutal.
gnarly, dude. Holy.
Wow.
Like,
Oh,
that's
God.
visceral.
That just makes you feel like a bad person.
Jesus.
You can see
Yes,
The
it did,
pellets.
HSV. It did.
from that target load. Like they're just all in here.
But notice, the pellets are a lot of them are on the surface. I think it was the gas pressure of that round going off that did the majority of the damage. That's because if you look at the position, like he's saying, look at all the pellets. Yeah, all of these pellets are right on the surface. So I'm thinking it was all that pressure that at point blank range, I think that pressure did a lot of the heavy lifting on it.
That's gnarly. Yeah, I will say, target load, not the ideal home defense load by any stretch of the imagination, but if you'd like to stretch what holds your imagination, that will certainly do the job. Holy shit.
Hang on. All right, let me shift over. Let me shift over to the other side so you guys can see this particular shot. Wow. Yeah. That would do it. Yeah, I'd say what happened is the gas pressure. I think the gas pressure from the shot basically opened it up and allowed and is what allowed for the majority of the target shot to basically enter and do what it did. Oh, wow.
Oh, dude, it just like caught it.
Yeah. Like the condom didn't even break. You just got the it caught everything. Did you see how the skull
Yeah, it expanded.
fraction?
So it didn't even exit.
It wasn't the round didn't penetrate.
Yeah.
It was the skull coming back that cut everything.
Holy shit. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. the shot leaving. It's just the skin or whatever, the gel stretching to where it tears and then the skull fragments ripping through. Dude, that's gnarly. Well, there's the wad. Something about that just looks
That's,
wrong.
you know what? That's a factor I didn't account for. That's something I didn't even think about. The fucking wad. The wad is a projectile all on its own, particularly at point blank range. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Antimine, that is one factor I neglected to remember. The wad is probably what did a pejorative amount of the damage. Yeah, that would do it. Very artistic,
This is
Brandon.
obviously kind of some darker subject matter for sure, but you know, I know we've made a lot of jokes and whatnot throughout the episode about an undisclosed person who, but facing facts, there is a very real scenario that Kurt Cobain did make the decision to take his own life, and that's a pretty serious thing.
It is. Suicide is it's a hard subject. Depression. If you are suffering from depression, if you're having a bad day, your friends are there for you, or there is a hotline. But more importantly, it doesn't make you weak. There's not a problem with going through those problems. Get help. It makes you a man to do. It makes you a person to reach out and ask for help. That is A-okay. And do that. Please, please do that, because you are important and you do matter.
That's what friends are for. Don't feel ashamed to reach out if you need help, and don't be afraid to reach out to your friends if you think they need help. And if you think that nobody's there for you, A, I promise they are. B, you can always call this number. The other last resort is, well, we don't want to see that happen.
It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
So anyway, that being said, that's how Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain. We appreciate you guys staying to the end of the episode, and I will see you, sexy YouTube mother lovers, in the next one. Eli, where can they find you?
Say hi to Eli, and now say bye to Eli.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
This is a demonstration of the target load. That was a demonstration of not loading a gun. There you go.
Hell. I mean, he did prove that it certainly is possible. There is plenty of conspiracy theories out there, but what Brandon did prove is it is at the very least possible.